I'm kind of, sort of, late as fuck in this regard to UFC 244, but, man, listen. Jorge Masvidal did everything that I expected him to do, and then he even exceeded my expectations in that regard. He's much more than just a brawler. For real. He beat the brakes off of Nate Diaz. There was no contest. There was no resistance, really. And you can tell in the fight, you can see it, you can see it in a man's eyes when he's just been defeated. Unbroken, but defeated, bested. You can see it in his face. That doesn't lie. He's not that good an actor whatsoever. That's what I do. That's my business. 244 was a stacked fight card. My gosh. You had Wonder Boy Thompson back, kicking the shit out of Vicente Luque. Woo! And I bet he was, I believe that he was an underdog. I'm not quite sure what that's, I don't fucking gamble, so I don't know the over, under, and all that bullshit it was looking like, but I think the people were kind of hedging their bets on Vicente because he's been knocking motherfuckers out left and right. But Wonder Boy, it was truly a return to form. It was a return to form with that karate style, that patented karate style of his with his arms dropped way low for extra mobility. It's interesting in martial arts, the pros and the cons of, various fighting styles. One, he's free. He's absolutely free. Israel Adesanya has a similar kind of, he doesn't have a karate style at all, but those kinds of fighters that they have the risk of getting knocked the fuck out in the sense that their arms are low and that sort of thing. But the pro to that is you can't see punches coming. If you're the other fucking guy, you can't see him coming nearly as easily because the arms are just down there chilling like tentacles, just ready to get fired off. Whap, 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 whap. You know what I mean? Yep, that was my phone's alarm. My apologies. Motherfucking interruptions. But anyhow, they're dropped low and that sort of thing. But what's interesting is he unleashed his entire arsenal really on Vicente Luque, and one is it's a testament to Vicente's toughness, man. He's a badass, but he's getting the brakes beat off of him. He was getting his ass beat, but it was an amazing comeback on Wonder Boy's part because he got, he was winning the fight. He was beating Anthony Pettis, but just because this is the thing about MMA. So many different ways to win. Hella ways to lose. Like you can be winning the fight and lose that shit, in an instant. Lickety split. And that's really what happened. Wonder Boy was doing a great job. And then homeboy, Showtime, he just bounced off of that fence and did a Superman punch. And it was glorious. And he just put Wonder Boy to sleep. And this circles right back around to one of the cons, having your arms drop low. I love, I like my arms low as well. For the most part, at least one of them, for just the kind of mobility, just moving around. And it's just my flow. I understand that there's risk for sure. Added risk again, just smacked right in the face. Which means I have to be extra vigilant when I'm sparring or fighting or whatever I'm doing, and then with someone else. But that's when, slipping and just movement, footwork is extra important, way more important when you decided to adopt that kind of style. Of course, the dudes, the fellas with their dukes up, fighters with their dukes up, yeah, their hands up, how they're heading, that sort of thing, limits their mobility. A lot of them have great, adaptations, but you tend not to move as well or as quickly and fluidly. But anyways, it came back around. In that instant, he just couldn't move in time. Wonder Boy couldn't. When Showtime just bounced off the fence and just socked that motherfucker all the way to Jupiter, put him to sleep. But resilience, and Wonder Boy, he spent that night in the hospital. He got right back to work. Come UFC 244, he looked like the Wonder Boy of old. Like, there was really very little that Vicente Luque could do. He had no answers whatsoever. And it'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that sometimes. He looked vintage. Vintage Wonder Boy. His kicks are crazy. He's one of those cats where he could stomp his foot on the ground and like a foot will come straight out the fucking wall and hit you right across the face. Like one of them, like on some anime shit, on some cartoon shit, cartoonish striking ability. But back to Masvidal and Nate Diaz. Oh man, like where do I start? Like, what was remarkable about it was that it was lopsided, man. I was super excited about the fight because I was like, yay, for the BMF title, the baddest motherfucker title. These two straight up street toughs, these ruffians. Let's see these cats go at it. I thought it was going to be a brawl, like a brawl on Nate's part, because that's just what he's capable of. Like, that's his kind of he's not mobile. He's just going to stand right the fuck in front of you, and he's not going to go down anytime soon or easily. He breaks your will because you're like, man, like what am I even punching? There seems to be no effect. Now, of course, visually, yes, he always gets cut. The Diaz brothers, like, they stay cut. They just have that kind of brow bone when that sort of situation. And over the years, or throughout the whole career, of just these battles, these wars with these other warriors, these fighters, these killers, eventually you build up all kinds of scar tissue and shit. And it just makes it easier to cut. You just cut easily. It's not that you're hurt per se, but the night of UFC 244, me and my homie Artie was sitting there, and we were baffled because it kind of hit us out of the blue where, like, the doctor called the fight, and we were like, wait a minute, motherfucker. Nate is always cut. In fact, he's never not cut. In fact, he turns up the heat when he do get cut. He pelts you with these tiny, tiny rabbit punches. They don't seem powerful at all, but when you get hit 200 times with a punch, it's going to add up. That shit's going to add up, you know what I'm saying? But that didn't happen because it wasn't happening. What you saw was a superior boxer, a superior striker. He had way better hands usually. That's the case with Nate. He just outpunches you, outboxes you, that sort of thing. But that wasn't happening because he had met his fucking match. And Jorge Masvidal, a lot of camaraderie between those two leading up to the fight. But he got his ass beat from edge to edge, from every corner of this fucking octagon, every point, every angle. Got his ass beat. I'm talking about devastating body kicks to the ribs. You could see it in his face, catching them kicks to the ribs. Masvidal actually had a field day. He was like kicking a dummy, just someone who wanted to move. And plus, the perfect guy to fight for someone who can strike so well is someone who doesn't like moving, can't move for real. Feet firmly planted, no footwork really. Great jiu-jitsu guy. He's also on the ground. That's what he's known for. Is having great cardio, great stamina. great ground game. He's submitted some cats off of his back at in the mount, that sort of thing. But the thing is, Masvidal's got wrestling too. He's got a ground game. So they ended up on the ground. They ended up in scrambles. No, there was nothing. He realized that, fuck, I ain't got shit for this dude on the ground. What am I gonna do? He beat my ass standing up. Now we on the ground and I got to answer for that? The fuck am I gonna do? Just out tough this motherfucker? How am I out tough a tough guy? And so eventually that face opened up. It was a horrible cut, horrendous cut. We're accustomed to seeing it, but I'm guessing that doctor, he's the professional. He's that's the doctor. I was like, oh man, I was upset. But the fight got called on a fucking cut. I'm like, man, he's always cut. But he must have been able to see his whole skull or something, man. Because it was deep, and then eventually, you can only take so much punishment. And that shit got called in round 3. I want to say this was a scheduled 5. Yeah. It was a scheduled 5 rounds. But the fight was only going to get worse. People were talking about Masvidal letting up like he was winded. And I'm like, man, that motherfucker's in fantastic shape. He was punching that motherfucker in the face with a smile. He was having a fucking field day. It was a fighter's dream to fight a motherfucker who don't like moving, who just stands in front of you. You're like, perfect. I want to hit something that don't move so much. That's great. Less work for me. But I get to put more work in. Come on. So, just pelting them, man. It was a hailstorm. Hit him at everything he had to throw. Then opened him up. Ref was like, I'm sorry, not the ref, but the doctor was like, must have been his logic. Who knows? But it was like, man, he been getting his ass beat, and that shit was not about to change. Tide wasn't going to turn. It's going to be more of a horrendous, great, fantastic, wonderful ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? So why not just stop it now? Trying to preserve the fighter now. Trying to preserve the career now. What's left of it. Try to preserve the eye now. You've had a former middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping. Shout out to Michael Bisping. Check out the Believe You Me podcast with Louis J. Gomez. As well, that shit's fantastic. MMA, comedy, fatherhood, parenthood, all kind of shit. They talk about all kind of shit, but it's fucking hilarious. It's a great show. Check that out. Gas Digital Network. Shout out. But Bisping lost his eye. He fought with Vitor Belfort, and repeated trauma, just trauma. There's a statute, of limitations. It's probably not the right way to put it. There's a limit. How about that? There's a fucking limit to your body has its limits. There's only so many cuts. There's only, so many cuts, that you can take. So many blows to the eye that you can take before that shit is just irreparably damaged. So I'm sure that doc was like, man, I'm always like, it's the same shit with you, Nate. Your fucking eye, always wide open. So let's just stop it. It's all right. You put up a good fight. It's all right. It's all good. Run it back. I don't know. But ain't a damn thing to be redeemed about this fight. So, moving on from that, we're talking about Wonder Boy. Let's see. Oh shit. The other night I watched this fight. Kind of an older fight, but Zabit Magomedov-Sharipov is a fucking phenom. Russian dude, and but this dude is like a ninja, like for real. Beanpole of a dude, 145 pounder. I want to say a featherweight. This dude has insane submissions, strikes. You don't know what he's going to throw. He just stays in this crazy flow state, this kind of flow. I don't even think half the time he knows what he's going to throw. He just does it. He just expresses himself to the fullest of martial artistry. You know what I'm saying? He's a Sanda guy. He's got a son. I think a son in the background, like Khabib Nurmagomedov. And his wrestling, his jiu-jitsu was insane. Watched him fight this dude, Kyle Bochniak. Kind of a broy dude, but I'm telling you, man, he was getting his ass beat too. Like he was getting pelted, boy. This bing, bing, bang, boom, bang. You know, all kind of kicks to the neck and shit, to the body, to the legs. But this dude, it was like he couldn't feel shit, man. For real. Hell bent. So that was a 3-rounder. And even though the fight, it was kind of lopsided, like it was clear who was in the lead and who was winning the points and, you know, whatnot. But it was a hell of a fight because this dude, check this fight out. It's on YouTube between Zabit and Kyle Bochniak. This motherfucker, man, Bochniak in the third final round, the last minute. This dude, so Zabit does get gassed. He does. I noticed he starts looking at the clock. That's when he's telling you he's tired. So he started looking at the clock repeatedly. And Kyle smelled blood in the water. This motherfucker just started standing right in front of Zabit, not moving. Cause he's that fucking guy. This dude was throwing all kind of shit at this man. This man couldn't move. Zabit couldn't move anymore because he does a bunch of explosive shit. He be stunting, doing all kind of sexy flexy ass moves. And so eventually, I mean, all that explosive shit runs your gas tank down a lot faster than regular shit does. Regular strikes being economical and efficient with your strikes and shit, with your techniques. So he kind of ran out of gas. He started looking at the clock like, when is this shit over? And Bochniak noticed it. He said, okay, now's my time. This man started blasting this dude. They were going back and forth. But you can see the mutual respect for each other in the ring. By the time the fight ended, he definitely got the fight bonus. Or both of them did, because both of them did a hell of a job. But I recommend that fight, y'all, for real. You know, and I'm interested to hear from you guys with regard to what were some of your favorite UFC fights or one championship fights. Speaking of, I just watched a fight. It was the One Grand Prix Championship Finals. Concerning it had Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, a fucking legend, a phenom, even at the age of 33, I want to say. And between him and King Dad, watch him fight King Dad. King Dad's 29-0, or no, 29-1, and Demetrius is 29-3, which is up for debate because I don't think he lost that second fight to Henry Cejudo. I think that the top brass, the powers that be, Dana White got tired of watching this motherfucker defend his belt for the 100th time in a row because he kept that fucking belt for like 14 years. He's had 14 successful title defenses. No one's ever in the fight game had any kind of credentials like Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, but he's not a fan favorite somehow, some way. You know, no one respects that kind of mastery. They want something flashy. They want something exciting. Now, to me, he's fucking exciting to watch, but he just doesn't have the star power that some cats just have. He's not super charismatic. To me, he's dope. He's humble. He's quiet, soft-spoken. He's just a genius in there. He's a fighting genius. I've never quite seen anything like it. He loves video games, anime, and shit. He's a nerd. He's really a nerd about fighting and about everything he puts his mind to, but no one's into that shit. Nobody's into that shit like that. And so, you know, the UFC wants to be the WWE. They want to also be this straight up entertainment platform, and so they kind of cater to fighters. Hell, they put on a BMF title fight between two dudes who had like 11 losses. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's clear what they're into and what they're not into. You know, they're giving Yoel Romero title fight after title fight. He be losing like a motherfucker. He's great. Like he's a great fighter. He's a fucking killer. You know what I'm saying? The most martial arty bodybuilder ever. But, you know, it's kind of like the personas are making fights, you know, more so than necessarily the styles are making fights. Or a combination of the two. But he ended up going over to one, obviously. to do like, because he's a martial artist. Like that's what he's into. That's what he's about. It's like the game. But he's not necessarily playing the game. But he's about the art of it all. And One Championship really, that fight promotion really caters to straight up warriors, straight up martial artists. It's really honorable and that sort of thing. They don't do a bunch of shit talking and all that bullshit. So he went over there. But I recommend y'all check out that fight. Mighty Mouse versus King Dad. Shit was crazy. But Mighty Mouse beat that ass too. He's had to lose over there, but he does get tested. I feel like he gets tested more often in One Championship than he ever did in UFC. I mean, he's gotten tested over there because those are straight up killers. So that's the gold standard. But One, that's the UFC of the rest of the world. Is some might argue, since there's way more Asians, as far as representation, as far as population globally, I want to say that One might be bigger. It's just more popular. The UFC is more popular here because it's here. But the One, that covers the whole world. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a win-win for Mighty Mouse because he's getting paid. Oh my gosh. He's getting paid. Plus, he's got a video game company. He's in the esports. I'm telling you, he's a fucking nerd, but he's also a genius, a fucking businessman. He's like, look, I'm gonna get my fight. I'm gonna get my prize fight bags. I'm gonna get my video game bags. I'm gonna stream and be on Twitch and shit. Operate my business. He lives in Japan, I think. Of course, it makes the perfect. As soon as he lost the decision to Cejudo, which was bogus, he's like, all right, hit up his manager like, yo, get me out of this contract immediately. He said, say no more, fam. You out. Cool. Where we headed? Holler at One. Yo, what up? Says One. Demetrius is out. Cool. Demetrius is in. Enough said. End of the fucking story. And so, I mean, it made perfect sense to me. It made perfect sense to him. So he, they up and moved east, far east, and just merged all of his passions all together. I'm sure the fight in the UFC eventually, with a real motherfucker like that, can just erode somebody like that especially when he sees it becoming the WWE. He's like, man, all right, man. Kind of like jaded in the sense that after so many title defenses, it's like, man, ain't no answer for me. And so I'm sure them just giving that shit to Cejudo was just a way out. And he just like, hey, you know what? This is a prime opportunity. Let me go on and make my way on to the next phase of my life. And ultimately, eventually, a segue up out of the fight game and into the, the super nerdy shit, the esports and all, and all that good shit and all of his other ventures, because he's a brilliant guy, just a smart, intelligent human being too. Not just a barbarian or savage, you feel me? But a combination of all those things. So, as I digress, my goodness. Anyhow, how's everybody been? Hopefully everybody's been alright. I have been so fucking busy. That's why I haven't podcasted in a while. This won't be a super long or extensive podcast, but I did want to touch base with y'all. I know this was the UFC minute, but I just had some shit to say about it. You feel me? You feel me? I'll have another podcast guest here soon. I've been building it up. Of course, I have no fucking music yet. I know that it's, it's not essential, but I'm going to get it together. I want to make it. I want to make it myself. I have my Akai MPK Mini sitting over there staring at me in the face. I just haven't had any time to sit down with it and mash these pads and strike the keys and put some fly shit together for this podcast intro. But I will. I shall. We'll also spend tonight working on getting this visual component together. I'm going to have a IRL stream on Twitch as well. I'm building that shit up. So I had to set up the audio. Then I had to set up the the webcam. Because I got a new laptop and shit. So we're fully motherfucking operational, you know? Had this debate with a homie, Spence, Ventrilla wins. Shout out to Spencer. About Mavis Beacon. I don't know how the fuck it came up, but it's me involved. And when it's me involved, anything can fucking come up for any fucking reason. Or no reason at all. I'm random. But he thought Mavis Beacon was white. I was like, hold up. Mavis Beacon been a bald-headed black woman my whole life. What the fuck you talking about, bro? Or did they make her white over time? Like, what they do? He's like, no, dude. I think when I was in school, because he's a youngster, Mavis Beacon was a white lady. I'm like, no, dog. Ain't no white Mavis Beacon. Now you guys can chime in, hit me up on Instagram, DM me, whatever, Kenpachi, Travanti, and y'all let me know, because I tried to do some research. I didn't see no white Mavis fucking Beacon. That bitch is black. Had a bald head, and then over time she grew hair. It's weird how they like made her grow hair and shit. Bitch, she's digital. Like, just keep her with the bald fade. You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck y'all trying to appeal to? We weren't not buying keyboard typing programs because the bitch had a bald head or a Caesar, you know, or even Steven. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what her haircut's like. You know, but then Mavis Beacon with, you know, like, what's Mavis Beacon box looking like now? Like, does she have a kid and a husband and shit? Like, who cares? They're digital. It's not that big a fucking deal. You know, this is random, but I was kind of thinking about the Looney Tunes and about names, and I'm just trying to figure out whether or not the E initial, Wild E Coyote's middle name, E, Wild E Coyote, is the E. I feel like the E is trying to, or was designed to, distract people from the fact that they named that nigga Wild. W-I-L-E. What the fuck kind of name is Wild? Have you ever heard of someone named Wild before? I've never heard of someone named Wild before. But we accept it. And we always did, because it's all one name to us. It's Wild E Coyote. You don't call him Wild. Yo, Wild, what's happening? Or Wild E. Well, Wild E kind of works. But you just say the whole fucking thing. What the fuck is the E for? Edgerman? And you know what I'm saying? The same thing with E Honda. E Honda. Honda's a Japanese car company. We know that shit. We know this. We know this to be self-evident. It's a car company. But what is the E for? They could have easily spelled out Edwin, Edgar, Edgerman, Evan. It's not Evan Honda. Edgerman Honda. Ooh, it kind of has a ring to it. Edwin Honda. Edward Honda. I've never known that. M. Bison too. I mean, it's not Maggie Bison, but that shit would be hilarious. If his name was Maggie Bison. Oh shit, I cracked myself up for no reason. Yeah, it's just some random thoughts there, for real. I'm sitting here, I was on the homie's porch, his wife family, and we were walking to the house. I was walking up to the porch, and you know, this UPS driver, hard working brother, dreadlocks, was also walking up to the door at the same time. White people and anyone else, they don't have to think about this shit, but this is just some shit that runs through a brother's mind, and runs through a nigga's mind. We were walking up to the house at the same time, and we looked at each other, and I said, you know what, brother, you go ahead and go first, because I don't know, I don't want to chance it, because it is 2019, but we're in California, but I just don't feel great about two Negroes breaching, it might be too much just initially. It'll normalize in that moment, but initially they see two brothers just breaching their defenses at the same time. I'm like, you know what? Let's not give them heart attacks. You know what I'm saying? You go on ahead and drop the package off, bro, and then I'm gonna slide up after you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just illuminating a fact. This is just shit that we got to think about. Or this is just shit that we do think about. I ain't trying to get blown off nobody's fucking porch because it's just too many niggas at one time descending upon the front door. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. Mistakes happen. But I want to be around. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be nobody's tragic mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, oh no, what have I done? What did I do? Fuck that, man. No, I want to live to play another day. So that's called savvy. Shoot, that's called forward thinking. I'm like, you know what? We might be too much for these motherfuckers right now. You know what I'm saying? You go ahead, UPS guy, what can Brown do for you? And then I'm going to slide up afterward, man. It's too many niggas at one time. So once, you know what I'm saying? This ain't Halloween either. You know what I'm saying? So damn sure shouldn't be more than one motherfucker on the porch at one time. How about that? Oh, man. You know what's really annoying is, oh shit, by the way, this is some fly shit that happened this week. So I look at my phone, right? I look at my iPhone, and you know, with the iPhone now, with the new iOS, it shows a cloud with a fucking arrow coming from it. I don't know why it had to be a fucking arrow, but hey, here we go. Like, it means that you got to re-download the shit because it was offloaded. The Facebook app was offloaded. How fucking dope is that? What does that say about me? I ain't fucking playing games. I ain't playing around with these motherfuckers. I thought that was pretty punk rock. As the whites say today. I thought that was pretty punk rock, man. But, yeah, pretty fucking punk rock. My iPhone was like, hey, you don't even use Facebook, bruh. How about that? You gotta re-download if you want to use it. I'm like, nah, I'm good. You can keep that motherfucker right where it is. How about that? Yeah, they got offloaded. Cool points for fucking me. I don't think there's anything cool about awarding yourself cool points, but it just happened. Deal with it. You know. Back to Edwin Honda real quick. He was like 472 pounds with abs. Abs way better than my abs. It's just random shit about Street Fighter that's fucking hilarious. Like the bonus round, you get to beat the shit out of Alexis. Oh shit, I be wanting to do that in traffic sometimes anyway. Like, man, how about if I had fucking iron palms, I'll beat the fuck out of your fucking Lexus, man. Cutting me off. I be wanting to beat the fuck out of somebody and their car sometimes. Like, you know what? If I had, you know, the Colossus ability to just harden, I would. And beat the shit out your ride, bruh. People in Jeeps, people in Priuses, beating the shit out of your shit. Unfortunately, I cannot harden yet, but we're working on it. Oh shit, I'm jumping around. I'm kind of random right now, but fuck it. You're along for the ride. They were talking about Jorge Masvidal fighting Canelo. Y'all need to cut the shit out. Cut this fucking shit out with the crossovers. That shit happened one time. That was a one and done. Don't get these fucking dudes murdered. Because I'm telling you, Floyd Money Mayweather is about money. Canelo's getting paid, but he's not about money the way Money May is. So, Mayweather's, as far as business, he has a high level of intelligence. He's a brainiac when it comes to that shit, to get into the bags. He wasn't going to murder Conor McGregor in cold blood in the ring. So, it appears as though Conor McGregor stood a chance. He's a great striker. He's not a boxer, right? Caught him with an uppercut, though. That was cool. But again, Money May was probably like Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. I'm only fighting with 1% of my full fucking power. That sort of fucking thing. That's the kind of legend you're dealing with. Because Floyd murders murderers. Do you see what I'm saying? World-class boxer, never lost a fight, ever, is murdering guys who also damn near never lost a fight. He's murdering murderers. He's made a career out of it. You see what I'm saying? So you think this motherfucker is going to come over from Dublin and give him fits? I don't fucking think so. With white gloves on too? No, not at all. So I say that to say, what the fuck? Jorge Masvidal is one of my favorite fighters, by the way. But man, I don't want him to die. What I'm saying is Canelo is not going to have the same kind of restraint and control over himself because he's not a wizard. He's not all right. So he is a wizard, but he's not money made. Like Canelo's going to really take exception to the fact that this motherfucker Jorge is going to come over from MMA and think he got hands for Canelo. Canelo's got ultimate hands. Are you kidding me? Huh? He will murder him in cold blood. I wouldn't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that happen to my boy Jorge Masvidal. That's my dude. And I want there to be some of him left to go back to MMA, back to UFC. Therefore, no is the answer to that fight. Don't put that shit together. Do pay my motherfucking boy Masvidal out of 40-something fucking fights in the UFC or just professionally MMA, and then like 20-something fights, however many fights, in some motherfucker's backyard in Miami. He's more than worth, that big, giant, fat ass payday. Pay that man. But pay him in the UFC. Pay your fucking fighters. Pay them. You see what I'm saying? He shouldn't have to go and fight Canelo for a crossover fight that's worth it's worth a purse, but severe permanent brain damage and shit. No, man, it's a whole different kind of fucking game in boxing. Like, those are punches, man. That shit's serious. It's fucking serious business. Motherfuckers die. This was a year for boxing deaths. People get beat to death. You know what I'm saying? And they're trained to not get hit much. And to hit motherfuckers a lot. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Don't put Jorge Masvidal in that situation. I want him to have and finish out the rest of his UFC career with his frontal lobe intact, healthy, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I want him to live out the rest of his days with his full brain function. I don't want him, slide him to that Canelo fight and get an eyeball knocked out. It's not great. It's not great, Bob. Don't do it. Jorge, if you're listening, and I'm positive you're not at this stage in my podcast, but just don't do it, man. Come on, man. Get your bag in the UFC. Get those bags. How about that? And those bags are starting to come in. So how about that? Just add that shit up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's just, it's a wild thing. These are crossovers. I'm like, that's just cute and all. But if you're going to cross over, fight a motherfucker from Bellator. How about that? Send the brake dust off of those guys. And you don't even fighting Canelo and getting murdered and then sent back to the UFC, a shell of your former self. Because I know these wars, fighters don't typically, after these wars, they're really not the same. Some of them are okay. A lot of them, like after these wars, they're just not the same. There's something to it. Trauma. The brain, man. You get something knocked loose every time and time again. That shit don't just get glued back together. It's just loose. Rattle, thunderclap, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, it's the car X, man. I had to finish that shit. The old jingle. I missed that shit about the 90s jingles. Rattle, thunderclap, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, Juggernaut's here, bitch. Oh, man. Absolutely. Saw this big ass tow. Have you ever seen a small or regular sized tow truck driver? I was just thinking about this the other day. It's like I've never seen a dude not 300 pounds and Samoan or something, with tats and shit, jailhouse tattoos, and my name is Earl. Mechanic shirt on, and some navy blue dickies, and some boots, some ass kicking red wing boots, caterpillar boots with a steel tip, steel toes. I ain't never seen a non-gigantic fucking tow truck driver. And I was thinking about it. Why? I postulate that when you're towing somebody's fucking car, you're bringing out the worst of their humanity. They might even lose that humanity in that moment. They want you fucking dead. I've had my shit towed before. I wanted to set things on fire. On fire. Do you hear me? And I'm a reasonable guy. So imagine somebody who's not so reasonable. Someone who's unhinged. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's already gotten a written warning at their place of employment. And this might be the last fucking straw, like Michael Douglas in Falling Down, that kind of motherfucker. You tow his car, he's going to want to try to give you a 3-piece and a biscuit, a 3-piece and a soda. You know what I'm saying? Smack you right upside your melon repeatedly. So, as a deterrent, you hire motherfuckers who are gargantuan. What the fuck are you gonna do to a dude 7 weight classes beyond yours? What you gonna do? When the Big Show or the fucking Undertaker's towing your car, nothing. You're just gonna start. So, sir, sir. So, where exactly are you towing the vehicle? I would just need to know so that I'll know, where to Uber to recover my vehicle, sir. I don't mean any harm. Like I don't mean to, So yeah, so sir, if you can, that's your fucking approach to a motherfucker that big. It was just a random thought. I'm like, man, these fucking tow truck drivers are fucking huge. They had a scene in Men in Black where Vincent D'Onofrio's weird roach in the human body character, he was getting his shit towed, and he tried to give homeboy, the tow truck fucking driver, some shit. Dude was fucking huge, and he showed him a little gun, a little midget cricket pea shooter shit. And dude was like, please pull out his fucking one of them Yosemite Sam pistols. Like, man, I ain't fucking worried about you, little bitch. If you don't get the fuck up out my face. And homeboy turned right around like, yeah, okay. Changed this whole tune so damn fast. But yeah, it was random as well. I'm just shooting the shit. Man, I'm just catching up with y'all. Just catching up. It's been a while. So I'm just unloading. Just unloading, man. I did some bee research today, because that's kind of one of my recurring themes. And I'm like, remember like when the sun was out? I'm sorry, back in the day when we were kids, like in the 90s, there used to be bees. There used to be bees all over the place. I used to go outside, and I used to really be concerned. I used to be scared, chased around by bees and shit, because bees used to be outside doing shit. Now, whenever I see a bee, that motherfucker's had one vodka cranberry too many, one Jameson, one Jack and Coke too many. Like, these motherfuckers are out here wasted. Notice these motherfuckers always in swimming pools. With the cell phone still in the pocket, phone's ruined. They gotta do a fucking an insurance claim through Ashurion for $175 fucking dollars, because you know what I'm saying, one bee puts another bee into the pool with all their clothes on and shit. These bees be struggling, man. Bees, I've never seen bees so untalented, man. Like, these bees used to be so talented, dog. So talented, so gifted, making honey and shit for us. But I was doing some research. I used to think that I can't remember where I found this information, but I was misinformed that bees, they were responsible for like 1 in every 3 bites, which is partly true. But they say that the complete global market value of all of our food that we consume in the world is $394 billion. So that's the market value price. Something that they assigned monetarily so that we can, just put it into words more so. Make sense of it. So it was once postulated that the bees were responsible for 1/3 of that shit. Of all of the planet's food. Come to find out, now this could also be wrong because this fucking thing was from 2015. Maybe there's some new information about it, but they're responsible for, if they were responsible for 1/3 of 394 billion, then they were responsible for approximately 131 billion of it. Come to find out, they're responsible for about 15 billion, which is a fuck ton, which is a shit ton. Don't get me wrong, but it's at around 7.4%. Far less than 1/3, but 7.4% of the food supply. The funny thing about the article though was like, it had this kind of funny read to it. Like, nigga, who care about the bees and they struggles, nigga? Like, who fucking cares, man? We alright. We can do without bees. You know what I'm saying? Legumes, beans, spinach, potatoes, sweet potatoes, all that shit is fertilized by asexual, the budding or fertilized pollination happens with the wind, motherfucker. Wind, wheat, corn. That's wind, motherfucker. Who cares about the fucking bees? I'm like, I mean, you ain't got to diss the bees and this whole thing. Just say that they don't have as involved a role. It's very involved, but not as involved a role as we previously might have thought. You ain't got to diss my motherfucking bees, B. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you ain't gotta slander my bees, man. What the fuck they do? But I just think that the bees should just pay more attention to their tolerance levels. I don't know what they're drinking out there, but maybe lay off of the sauce. There was a bee drunk in my car the other day. You know what I'm saying? And like they be so wasted that they don't even think about you. I remember when bees used to be flying straight at your eyebrows and shit, man. Straight at your face. And they want shit you can do. These bees have no interest in you because the fucking room is spinning. They're like, man, I should not have played beer pong with those fucking bros, and I shouldn't have drank that natty ice, that natural fucking ice, or that Bush beer. That shit's trash. That shit's fucking terrible. I don't know why I did that shit. Now the fucking room is spinning. You know what I'm saying? I gotta work at 8 a.m. This is the worst fucking decision I've made in a long time. You know what I'm saying? That head-on doesn't fucking work. Do they still make commercials for that shit? I sure hope not. But that shit didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Let me try this 5-hour energy drink. Let's see if that helps. Like, no, bro, drink pickle juice or something. That might have something to do with it. That might help curb the hangover. But they be wasted out here. They just need to fucking relax and chill. Get back to pollinating shit. It's been a hard time for bees. It's been a hard time for people. Hard time for California. We on fire every fucking day. The bees are out here drunk instead of pollinating shit. Hummingbirds are doing their fucking thing. Like, they ain't stopped. They still are contributing. But then you have this fucking article shitting on bees. It's the last thing they need. Why kick a bee when it's fucking down? Fucking relax. Fucking relax. But with that said, fam, I'm back. Back, baby. I'm gonna try to do this shit once a week at least. But I'm a hustler, man. But I'm also going to begin to stream IRL style as well on Twitch, Kenpachi, Travanti. I'm tired of spelling that shit out. I'll put that shit in the link below in the description. And follow me on Instagram. Same shit, same name, Kenpachi Travanti. I ain't spelling that shit out. It'll be in the link and in the fucking description below, baby boys and baby girls. What else? I got all kind of shit in the works. I have a visual component to this podcast in the works as well, but that takes cameras, and my fucking battery's dead, so that charger should be here tomorrow. Amazon, shout out to Amazon. Yeah, so that's about it for now. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned to my next guest too. That shit's about to be fun, exciting. Also, take note of how fucking random this podcast was. I love the flow. It ain't nothing like the flow. Ain't nothing like it. It's Kung Fu, baby boy. It's Kung Fu. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to y'all too. You know, pat yourself on the back if you're worthy of it. If you're not, get the fuck to work and get your shit together. We all need to get our shit together. Yeah. You feel me? Me too. Myself included. But y'all have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful week. And I'm going to talk to y'all soon. I might stack these up. I might have another one coming out soon too. So, alright, y'all. Stay good, fam. Oh, reach out to me on Instagram, Kenpachi Travanti. Link and shit will be in the description. Not the link, but the fucking way you spell it. Alright, be great. Good people. I'm out of here. Yup.